Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so, you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
As far as YouTube is concerned, we would like you to like it and subscribe to our podcast.
Yes, you know how you can find our YouTube page?
How?
You go to YouTube and just type in TechTime Radio.
That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
Like, and subscribe.
You need to visit us online also at Twitch. You know what our Twitch page is?
I imagine it's at TechTime Radio.
That's correct. If you just go to any twitch.tv and you look for TechTime Radio, we come on up as TechTime Radio. So visit us on Twitch, subscribe there because you can see the live feeds themselves. And guess what?
What?
We also have a page on X. Okay,
so and what is that?
That's
at TechTime Radio?
That's at TechTime Radio or hashtag
TechTime Radio. The point is,
yeah,
if you like our show, like and subscribe to our social media. Okay, so I think that's pretty much covers it. Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Nathan doesn't get liked a lot at home, so he's begging for everybody.
Please like us. Please like us. That's right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Remember, TechTimeRadio.com.
TechTimeRadio.com.
All right.
Like us and subscribe.
Or subscribe and like us.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. Each week our show covers the weekly top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And of course, with a little whiskey on the side. We are live streaming during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter/X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at TechTimeRadio.com and become a Patreon supporter at Patreon.com/TechTimeRadio. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host, a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise, working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. Today in the studio, we have co-host Mike Roday and Mark Gregoire, our whiskey time taster. Well, whiskey tech time taster.
What happened there?
A little bit of whiskey before the show. Mike's an award-winning author, originally from Arizona. Mike's a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike is here to keep me from geeking out while providing insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. Mark Gregoire is here. I'm glad to be back in the studio, our whiskey connoisseur and senior technical executive with a 30-year record of establishing technology solutions. He's a skilled whiskey drinker and our go-to pick-of-the-day whiskey expert. We are friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. With, of course, our producer, Odie, running the board. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
That was Mike coughing a little bit. Are you feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure. All right. Today on Tech Time, Google's $700 million fine we're going to be talking about, and everyone's getting a slice of the pie. We dissect the details and how it ripples through the tech universe. Apple's like a sprinter racing around the clock. Why? Because the U.S. ban is looming, and they're tweaking their watches like mad scientists. But is it enough? Then we have our guest today on the show. Laura Bell Main is the brains behind SafeStack Academy, and it's a mission to democratize cybersecurity. Get ready for insights, inspiration, and a sprinkle of digital magic. The holidays are here, and drinking is on the rise, but what if you could eliminate drunk driving? Isn't that a kind of we're a whiskey tasting show, and then we're going to be talking about eliminating drunk driving. But we don't drink and drive drunk, so I guess it's okay. But I just find that's kind of a little funny parallel. So we'll have Mike get to talk about that, since he'll be our expert in that.
It's only funny because... Never mind.
Okay. All right. Buckle up, my friends. We're exploring a game-changing technology that could put on the brakes for drunk driving. Finally, imagine a new car having a built-in system to keep us safe, all by AI. TomTom and Microsoft are tag teaming to do this. What does it mean? More on the complete navigation, personalization, recommendations, and a dash of future flair. Ready for the ride with the new Microsoft TomTom AI to guide you? All right. In addition, of course, we have our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and the possible Nathan nugget if time allows regarding AI and geese.
Are you serious?
So sit back. What's that?
Trying to do the geese again.
I am. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time Radio. As always, we have our pick of the day whiskey tasting during the commercials to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. Story number 1. Google is paying a $700 million fine. And guess what? You as a consumer are going to be getting some of it if you have an Android phone. So you have an Android phone, right?
I have an Android phone.
Okay. Mark, you have an Android phone, right? All right. So guess what? You are going to be getting some money back on this. You're going to like this.
I'm going to get, what, 4 cents?
Well, no, maybe a little bit more than that. We have our reporter in the LA area, Tom Geiken, with more on the story.
Google parent Alphabet agrees to pay $700 million and make changes to its App Store, settling one of several antitrust challenges to the search engine company. The settlement resolves claims by a group of states that Google operated its App Store, Google Play, as an illegal monopoly. According to a court-approved plan, Alphabet will contribute $630 million to a settlement fund distributed to benefit consumers and pay $70 million into a fund used by the states. Last week, the company also lost a case brought by video game maker Epic Games, alleging that Alphabet had squeezed excess profit from app developers. I wish you guys in the studio happy holidays. Odie, back to you.
All right, so let's talk about this. So this is like breaking news that happened this morning. Think if your Tuesday's off, what if you were just at Google, who's confirmed that they are going to be paying $700 million as a part of a settlement regarding the antitrust concerns around Google Play Store. It's the Google Play Store itself. Essentially, in July of 2021, we talked about it, over 30 states plus Washington, D.C. followed a lawsuit following Google over its business practices related to the Google Play Store on Android. Specifically, the lawsuit targeted fees Google charged developers for use of the Play Store. So essentially, some companies like the Apple environment, you can do development on there and you don't pay until your application goes live in itself. But essentially, Google charges developers just to use the Play Store and have it up and going to test it out for their development processes. And alleged the lack of competition in the Play Stores has been allowed. Google settled the lawsuit this past September, and now Google has announced the details of the settlement. Out of the total of the $700 million for the settlement, $630 million will be distributed for the benefit of consumers. In other words, Google is paying that money directly to people who have used the Play Store. Have you used the Google Play Store in the last since August 16th, 2016? To download even a free app.
I have downloaded several apps from the Play Store, so
what does that mean? You're going to be eligible, and you're going to receive, at minimum, $2 back from Google.
Where are they going to send it?
Well, they're going to send it to your Google account, so it's going to be credit on there, so you have to use it in the Google Play Store. But they're going to give you $2 back. It's currently unclear when these payments will start going out, but you should automatically be notified when it happens. A couple of dollars in your pocket may not be a significant amount of money, but still $2 is better than you had before. The remaining $70 million is going to go to a fund that's used by the states. The details what the money will be used for aren't mentioned. So essentially $7 million is going to all these states split between each of those, and each of those are going to have the ability to draw on that $70 million fund. So that's pretty big news Google got in its settlement in itself.
I think people in Google are probably sitting around going, so?
Well, yeah.
Or again?
Well, I would say it's probably more the again syndrome, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they just lost to Epic. So, essentially, Google's kind of in trouble right now for some of their business practices. Not as bad as what Meta and Facebook has done.
And yet they keep getting in trouble.
Well, that's because the fines are pretty insignificant when you're making
when
the
you
money.
look at
the billions
how much
of dollars
money
you
they
make per month, $1 million fine isn't going to really hurt you too much. But guess what? Consumers, we always talk about what happens to the consumer money. You as a Google Play Store owner, you're going to get $2 back.
Ooh.
So I can do an
You know,
upgrade
I've never
at my-
bought anything off of the Google Store.
Oh, really?
No, I only use the free apps.
Okay. I've bought a couple apps that I've
I
used
never
off there.
buy anything off it, so I'm going to get a free $2
Yeah, you get free $2.
that I have to spend
Sometimes you've
in
used
the Google Store.
Sometimes you've used your Google phone to load an app that you ended up paying $40 for, but you just don't pay.
That
for
wasn't
the app.
that wasn't from the Google Store.
That's right. All right, I think you got story number 2, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about technology that is supposed to stop drunk drivers, which might be coming to every car in the nation.
Okay.
Federal automobile regulators say they've taken the first step toward making technology that prevents drunk and impaired driving standard in new cars. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said on Tuesday that such technology could help end the problem that kills thousands of people in the U.S. each year. Impaired driving crashes are 100% preventable, and there is simply no excuse or reason to drive impaired or by alcohol or drugs. This is the administrator, Ann Carlson, said in a statement. According to NHTSA, it will allow regulators to collect information about the current state of technology used to detect and prevent impaired driving, figure out if it could be implemented nationwide. Some technologies in development include breath and touch sensors to detect whether somebody drank alcohol, as well as cameras that can monitor a person's eye movements to tell if they're inhibited. Mothers Against Drunk Driving applauded the announcement, said it would push for the implementation of the technology as soon as possible. Everyone involved in this rulemaking process at NHTSA and everyone designing impaired driving prevention technologies at car companies need to understand that this is about saving human beings from the horror that they've experienced from the injuries and deaths of tens of thousands of Americans. This comes from Mad National President Tess Rowland, who was hit head-on by a drunk driver in 2021. We must get this done. Lives are at stake, she added. The Alliance for Automotive Innovation, a trade group that represents automakers, said in a statement that it was reviewing the announcement. According to NHTSA, 13,384 people were killed in drunk driving accidents in 2021, making it one of the top causes of death on the road. Deaths, injuries, and property damage also amount to some $280 billion in lost wages, medical costs, and more. The bipartisan infrastructure law passed in 2021 compels NHTSA to develop a federal standard requiring new passenger vehicles to include technology that can prevent drunk and impaired driving as long as it is reasonable and practicable and can reduce crashes and deaths.
All right, so let's talk about this, right? So they already have the blow and go.
Yeah,
right? That's
but
essentially a device that you have to blow in before you can start your vehicle. When I was looking at the technology, this is what they're coming up with: is essentially some sensors that you would blow into, see what your alcohol level is
Now,
before you're able to start your
Here's
vehicle.
where they're going to run into problems.
Okay,
Do you want that in your car?
I have no problem with it in my car.
A lot of people are not going to like that being in their car
Correct.
because that infringes upon their rights.
Is it the right to drive a vehicle while impaired?
No,
Okay.
but it's intrusive. And if I have to get into a car and blow into it and I don't drink,
Yeah.
that's going to be a problem for me
Why is that?
because the assumption is that I am a drinker and that I will make the choice to drive my car.
So it looks like the device that I did a bunch of research on this. It looks like the device is like a key fob that will be a part of your key type of deal. So you won't have to actually like go on over and lean over into, and a key fob is essentially your device that you have you're on your keychain that allows you to remotely get into your vehicle.
Yeah, so this one's going to take your
So this is going to take your alcohol level either through a blowing mechanism. And you know what? My wife bought one of these for me about 10 years ago at like Costco. It was a little black little thing. And I
a
could blow
lot
in.
of people. I've seen those in truck stores and truck stops and things like that.
So
They're
that you
all
can
over the
have
place.
so you can have that. But essentially what they're going to do is now put it into before you have the auto start of your vehicle. And this is for newer vehicles, not older vehicles. You could go buy an older vehicle if you want to to do this, but I applaud the efforts. I actually think it's a great idea. I'm okay with actually. There's different
how are
things.
you okay with that?
How am I
because
okay with
that takes away a piece of control that you already have. So you can go downstairs right now and get in your car and drive away.
Yeah.
But this is basically putting another step that you have to go through in order to be allowed to drive your car to work or to home.
Well, if I have a drinking problem, then I'm going to have to drive an older vehicle.
This is how
right?
this is how this becomes a very complicated problem.
Yeah.
Because not everybody drinks and drives. Not everybody drinks.
Okay.
So this is like saying everybody is guilty before being proven innocent.
Well, there's still idiot drivers on the road, so you can't stop that.
This technology is not going to stop that.
But this will stop people that are impaired getting in there.
Yeah.
So I get, you know what? I think it's going to be like a 50-50 split, but I like the idea.
I think this is problematic because they're going to hit a lot of legal hurdles that we didn't discuss in this thing.
But you're already signing your life away. We talked about this. You buy any brand new car now, you get a user acceptance agreement, which means they can videotape you and do everything that they want. So essentially, you have no privacy in your vehicle, anyways.
I think a lot of people are going to, be up in arms about this.
So here's what we should do, Mike. We should create a company that only buys 2,022 vehicles that has none of this type of stuff, and then we can just be distributors because then we'll have all these people.
Well, that's one of your many thousand business plans.
There you go. All right, let's move on to story number 3. Huh? All right, Apple is scrambling to tweak its watches before the looming U.S. ban. Let's go to Corinne Westland for more on the story.
Apple is pulling the super popular Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2 from its website this Thursday at precisely 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Apple Watch ban stems from a drawn-out patent dispute over the blood oxygen sensor, found in most Apple Watch models, beginning with the Series 6. The company is racing to change algorithms on the device that measure a user's blood oxygen level, a feature that Masimo Corp claims infringes on its patents. Apple is working on various legal and technical options. Already, it's begun preparing stores for the change. It sent new signs to its retail outlets that promote the Apple Watch without showing photos of the Series 9 and Ultra 2, the two models targeted by the ban. However, not all is lost, as the lower-end SE watch will still be available, as it lacks the blood oxygen features.
All right, so we got Masimo Corporation, who essentially has a patent on the hardware, not necessarily the software. And we're going to talk about this. Unless the White House vetoes a last-minute survival for Apple, the ban will be imposed by the International Trade Commission, takes effect on December 25th. Apple could settle with Masimo through the route of its typical options, with either paying a huge fine for that technology, or what they're actually trying to do is they're hoping to focus and win favor with regulators on how its technology is being sent. Now, Apple stock was down 1% on Monday, and the shares, essentially from Masimo, shares gained 3.2% on Monday. Masimo does absolutely have a patent for the technology that Apple is using. Now, Masimo says it doesn't make any difference in the demonstration here. Even the world's most powerful company must abide by the laws. Working with an Apple suggests that the company believes software changes rather than more complicated hardware overhauls will be enough to bring the devices back to store shelves. However, the patent at the heart of the dispute is most likely related to the hardware, including how light is emitted into the skin to measure the amount of oxygen in a person's blood. An Apple spokesman said the company is working to submit a workaround to the U.S. Customs Agency, which is in charge of approving changes to get a product back on the market. Masimo said that the software fix will be insufficient remedy. The hardware needs to be changed. The maker of the medical devices said experts say that the plans of the software fix will not succeed, and so Apple will be considered to pay a huge fine or look to purchase the company. But it said Wednesday at the end of the encryption would be a part of its transfer of information for the regulating items. So this is really interesting to talk about. Here's a hardware device inside the new Apple Watches. Well, actually, the 6 series, but they're already in the 9 series. So 6, 7, 8, and 9 series all have this feature. But the hardware inside, the way that it was used, Massimo had a couple of employees. The kind of the backstory is a couple of employees left Massimo and essentially went to work for Apple. They were in charge of their hardware schematics, and then all of a sudden they used the same technology that this company was using. Massimo's a large medical company. You know the life alerts that you get, I've fallen and I can't get up?
Yeah, I got called from them. I got a call from them yesterday.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. They wanted to sell me a life alert.
Okay, well, so Massimo is the very first company that came out with it. There's a lot of knockoffs now that are out there, but they came up with that. So they create essentially these technology devices, can be based in consumers, and they have the patents. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens to this.
Well, Apple will just end up buying them.
They actually say that in the story. It's all about Apple has two choices: to pay this huge penalty, which is going to be more than if they just bought out the company itself.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the case. I feel like if they get a huge fine, it's going to be like Google getting a huge fine and them going, ha 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 ha.
I don't know, because every single watch, they have to stop the watch production. So they're pulling them off. Right now, this is the hottest item. You want to go to eBay and sell one of these watches right now. It's kind of like when, the new consoles come on out for Xbox or PlayStation.
That has nothing to do with
supply and demand, right?
So now everybody wants scarcity and opportunism.
They're going to come out with a software patch for your watch that they're going to want you to update to, and that software patch will remove the software on how it does it. So no one will do the software upgrade patch until...
I think Apple would just buy them out of spite.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, okay.
All right, last thing here. Story number 4. Get ready for a fully integrated conversational driving assistant. TomTom and Microsoft team up to bring generative AI to automobiles.
Is TomTom still around?
I didn't know about them until I saw this. Yeah, they're still around. TomTom just announced a fully integrated AI-powered conversational automotive assistant, which could start popping up in dashboards, infotainment platforms in the nearish future. The company says it has issued bold claims for the AI, saying that it offers more sophisticated voice interactions and allows users to converse naturally, to navigate, find stops along the route, control onboard systems, open windows, and just about anything else you find yourself doing while driving. The company, best known for GPS platforms, partnered with Microsoft to develop this AI assistant. The technology leverages OpenAI's large language models in addition to Microsoft products. Back in June, Mercedes announced a 3-month beta program that incorporated ChatGPT models into select vehicles. This tool also leveraged Microsoft Azure's OpenAI service. TomTom is showing off the AI at CES in January, so we'll make sure we follow this as we do our best of CES show.
AI.
That's right. Well, so what is it supposed to do? So there's a little demo of this. And it's essentially like, let's say you're a lonely person and you want to have an argument or you want to have a conversation.
You know what I envision? I envision somebody having this AI like a New York cab driver or something, and it yells at you.
It starts swearing.
Turn left right now.
It starts cussing. Okay, like the Allstate guy on the little informations where the GPS wasn't working or whatever.
Yeah, or it just starts yelling, or or it cusses at you or something. That
all of a sudden it just randomly says, "Did you go and bring milk home?" or something like that. You'd be like, "Oh, dang it, I forgot." No, I need to go back.
You could program it to be different things. So, like I remember, Waze, right?
Yeah,
I remember Waze used to have like voices. I don't know if they do anymore since I don't use, but I downloaded C3PO.
Yeah,
and that became annoying so fast that I quit using Waze.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, you weren't a big Anthony Daniels fan, or you just didn't like
it? It was just the how many voice prompts those things have. Yeah. It's just incredibly irritating.
I got you.
I don't like something. So here, this is my take, right?
Yeah.
I don't want something chattering at me while I'm trying to drive. So this is not going to work for me. I would be yelling my head off.
Just think if you had like your driving directions and all of a sudden you missed and you didn't turn left.
I would be like, shut the F up.
Yeah, this AI comes on. You idiot. You missed the turn again. Why can't you just stop for directions? It'd be like, oh.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'll do that just so I have something to do when I'm driving.
All right. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, we have our Technology Insider segment with Laura Bell Main after the commercial break. You will not want to miss this segment. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. See you in a bit.
This is Mark.
And Greg.
For Copiers Northwest.
With a terrific offer.
Called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
As long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
Odie's going to town there with the music. We like that. All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Corday. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break, and now we got Mark in studio to tell us what we are sipping in our pick of the day.
It's good to be back.
Oh, we love having you back.
So since I missed last week, I thought we would do the Blockhead again.
No, not the Blockhead. Blockhead was not. It wasn't very good.
I don't recall.
You don't recall? I wasn't.
No,
I wasn't the one that bought.
fifth.
I wasn't the one that bought it. I would have never bought that low type of.
Did I give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
It was a thumbs down.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I think your thumb was so far down, it was...
Oh well, after last week where we had the gross stuff that I picked up.
Yeah, that's what we're
As a
talking about.
joke.
Yeah. That's what we're talking
Oh,
about.
is
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
mind.
Oh, so
you should have said the crap you had last week, and I've been like, oh yeah, okay.
All right, so this week I brought in the Four Roses single barrel strength, and it is the formula OBSK. So it's from the Kieran Brewing Company. It's Four Roses Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. It's straight bourbon. This one is 9 years, 9 months. It's 111.62 proof. The mash bill is 60% corn, 30% rye, 5 malted barley, and it goes for roughly around $100.
All right. Well, I thought so far it's pretty good.
I can't. I'm going to give you a PSA and don't have a Hall's mentholyptus cough drop before you taste it.
Well, then let me tell you a little bit what Four Roses says about it then, Mike, and that might help you out.
Okay.
So from their website, OBSK is a favorite of bourbon lovers who like intense, spicy flavors. It's smooth and mellow like all our bourbons, but the mash bill and yeast strain combine to create our spiciest recipe. Here's the OBSK flavor profile as it's been described by their master distiller, Brent Elliott. The rich rye tones dominate the palate at first sip before seamlessly transitioning into flavors of allspice, nutmeg, and cinnamon. As this recipe ages, the robust, bright flavors mellow into deeper and richer tones as the oak, caramel, and vanilla flavors increase. However, despite the spice up front and mid-palate, OBSK has a generally soft and very mellow finish.
Oh, yeah, it does have a mellow finish, though. So
Yeah, I can't tell.
you can't get through that menthol, and then by the time you get to our
I
next
still
one-
can't tell.
Let people know the menthol is not coming from the whiskey, please.
No,
It's coming from a cough drop that Mike is using.
It's coming from a cough. Yeah, that's what I said. Don't eat a cough drop before you sip the whiskey because
I
it
kind of felt-
completely obliterates.
I kind of
the
like
taste.
the hamburger patty in between sick man here and sick man here a little bit. So I'm the well man, I hope. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
all
I'm
right?
not contagious. I just have smoke damage to my lungs.
Okay, that's true. All right. All right. Well, with our first whiskey tasting completed, do you have anything else, Mark?
Nope, that's good.
I did look for today. I looked for today's special thing, and I'm sure I'm not going to get it at all. So I could not find anything.
We'll see.
All day. So there we go. Well,
National Crappy Sweater Day.
so we are all dressed up. You know, I love seeing that bullseye target on you, Mike. You know, we are all dressed in our festive.
There used to be
sweaters.
this program on TV called Just Shoot Me. Just Shoot Me.
Just shoot you. Is that the name of the show?
That was the
Yes,
name
it
of the
was.
show, yeah.
Really?
Just
Okay.
Shoot Me.
Wow. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, with our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment. Today we have Laura Belmain. Laura is the founder and CEO of SafeStack Academy, an online education platform offering flexible, high-quality, and people-focused security skills. SafeStack is on a mission to make cybersecurity accessible for everyone and any organization. Let's welcome Laura to the Comcast video stream and start the segment.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
All right, Laura, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. How you doing?
Pretty good. Now, where are you coming from? So let's tell everybody where you're coming from, because they're a little bit of a, well, we've had people from South Africa on our show. We've had lots of people all across the world, but where are you coming from today?
I am in a very small town in the very far north of New Zealand. So you lot are all dressed up in sweaters and enjoying, the cold, cuddly Christmas, and we're getting our surf gear on and enjoying 30 degrees, so 90 plus degree heat, and it's a lovely time of year.
So actually, we need to go there right now.
It's not really cold here. It's just soggy.
It's just soggy and wet. It's just always it's the temperature and weather climate that happens from November until about March. Everything is gray. And
I'm going to go to New Zealand where it's summertime. Right now.
That would be fun. New Zealand, that's the Lord of the Rings area, isn't that New Zealand?
Cool. That's how. All right, that's how you remember stuff.
That's right. I remember them all based upon my movies, right? My movie selection.
All right,
Laura, explain a little bit about what your company is.
Awesome. So we're on a bit of a weird mission. So all that software that you use every single day to get the job done, whatever that job is, we want everyone who builds software, everyone who's using, to be safe while they're doing it. So we're trying to get everyone to do just 1 little hour of security every 2 weeks. So just changing our behavior slightly so that we can all be a bit safer online, by changing up our behaviors a little bit, but in tiny ways, not in ways that are going to distract us from what we actually want to spend our time doing.
All right, so Mike's going to be the biggest critic here. He's got lots of ideas about the extra security passwords and logins, right? When you have to use security stuff.
It drives me up the wall.
That's right. I was going to say, okay, all right. But now let's get right out of the gate. We were talking about this, Lauren, in our pre-interview. Why are our brains dumb? That was kind of the segment we wanted.
Is that genetics?
Well,
we're genetically programmed to be dumb.
No, it's not that we are dumb, but essentially our brains do things that it should not.
Your brain doesn't know what's real and what's not real. So.
It doesn't?
No.
So are we all living in a Matrix universe, Mike?
If you want to.
Okay, all right.
Your brain relies on your own consciousness to determine whether something's real or not. So that's
in my Matrix life, I still have Micro Day in there.
Okay.
All right, there you go. All right, all right. Why are our brains dumb, Laura? Explain this.
So I can use an example from your tech news you just covered, because I think that's a really good example. Let's go back to those Apple Watches, right? Yep. And you talked about people going crazy for them on eBay, and you'll be able to sell lots of them right now. And quite rightly, you mentioned that was opportunistic. It's supply and demand. But what your brain is doing is something quite interesting. Your brain responds to different circumstances with dopamine, and it encourages you to do things, to take action. Now, dopamine hangs out in fun challenges, in problems like, hey, there's only one of these left in the world and I can have it. That's a fun challenge that your brain can go, cool, I should totally get one of those things. So the idea of scarcity can get you hacked. So you'll see scammers, for example, say, hey, there's only 10 minutes to do this. There's only one of these available. We also have things like reciprocity. So your brain, when somebody says, hey, here's a shiny thing, I'm going to give you a gift, your brain is going to instinctively go, cool, I should do something nice for you too. And so if you're a scammer, being kind to somebody, giving them even a small gift, just as small as, a sticker with your name and address on, can increase the chance of you complying with an attacker or scammer hugely, by about 35%, they estimate. So what we have to be mindful of in security is less about those, kind of technical controls we're all familiar with, passwords and things, all very important. But the thing that gets most in the way of us doing things securely is how we respond to whether a puzzle is interesting enough or challenging enough for us to want to spend time on it, and whether we get dopamine. So most of us, if I'm honest, we have a password somewhere in our lives that's old enough to start school. So it's, 5 years old or more. And if you do, I'm not going to judge. I'm not here to do that. It's Christmas. But the reason that you're not interested in fixing that is because it's not an interesting challenge. It's not going to get that dopamine flowing. You're not going to get that, I did a thing. So we need to to get our security up, we need to trick our brain into thinking all of these things are exciting and getting them something that you want to do each day, or just 1 hour every 2 weeks.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about, you're a co-author of a book called Security for Everyone. right? So how can I secure myself at home? So we've already had people on. They always come in and talk about businesses, right? Because everybody likes to do business to business. We get that. Totally get that. But if I'm listening during the holiday break here, and I was like, how can I secure my home better during this holiday time to start the New Year's resolution out with a safer environment for my family while I'm using technology?
Well, I'm fundamentally very lazy. So this is like the lazy person's approach to getting secure without actually having to do much. So bear with me if you're like me and you're like, I want to do this once and then forget about it. This is the path for you. So first things first, the less apps and things you have on your devices, on your phones, the less you have to worry about. So this is a great time of year for you to go through the things on your phone and go, hey, I actually don't use this anymore. Just get rid of it. We don't have to worry about updates and vulnerabilities if we're not using it. Make sure your main device, so your phone, your tablet, your laptop, that they're set to auto update. But also remember to let them turn themselves off every now and again. Because sometimes we can just sit there with these devices and they've done the updates, but they're waiting just to power cycle, just to apply that last little bit. So maybe just once a week, give it a spa night, give your device a little TLC and say, hey, yeah, you can turn off for 5 minutes right now. And just, that's going to make sure those things apply. The other thing I want you to kind of think about, if I was to give you, 4 things, this is number 3, is your passwords. Now, if you've got a site that you actually don't care about the security of, you're probably likely to not want to spend a lot of effort on a password. So if you are signing up something, rather than reusing a password you use elsewhere, again, I'm not judging, we're humans, this is what we do, don't try and remember the password at all. Go change the password and literally mash the keyboard, type random strings into that box, copy and paste it into both things, and use the forgotten password to log in. It's much easier to do that than it is to then either have one password that you're using to rule all things and compromising more sensitive accounts with these junky accounts you don't care about. Finally, it is...
Okay, so I like that one. Hang on. Before you go to the finally, I like that. I have never in all my technology conversations ever heard that instead of using,
because you're a technologist.
Well, okay, but this is a good aspect. So if I'm on a site,
is what people like me do.
Okay, so you go to a site that you don't use very often.
Mm-hmm.
You type in your password. You just go crazy on your keyboard, and then it allows you in. And then essentially you're not there a lot. What you do is the next time you want to log in, you have to go to the remind me password. You put your email address in, and then you reset it to another password. I like. That's phenomenal. Okay, go to the final one. That's right, my nugget of the day right there. There we go.
So, and that one there, just, if you do like that one, remember then, all roads lead to your inbox. So the most important password for most of us to remember, and there's a few exceptions, but let's not bore ourselves today, is your email account. So make sure that one has a really great password. Now, for me, I'm terrible at karaoke. Think about song lyrics that you've misremembered. They're really, really long. You're going to remember them. They're going to make you smile, and then turn on two-factor authentication at the end. So my finally is, it is that season where you're going to spend a lot of time with family members. Good or bad, that's fine. Remember, some of the people in your family need a bit of extra help with technology. If they're visually impaired, if they've got old fingers and their fingerprint scanners on phones don't recognize them as well. So one of the things you could give as a gift as this Christmas is go help somebody who is a bit less technical than you or might be a little bit older to set up their things so that they don't have to worry about security in 2024.
That's a great idea. All right. So we got help out your relatives. We got smash the keyboard. Laura, I'm liking this a lot. All right. Now you have a podcast, right? So you are a podcaster for lots of stuff. I want to let people kind of know what your podcast is about, how to get in touch with you, and to find out more regarding what your company does each and every day.
Awesome. So I am a nerd and I'm a collector of stories. So I grew up reading sci-fi, watching movies, and these bright new future worlds were emerging in these stories. I loved it. And now I feel like in the tech space, we're actually building a whole bunch of the technologies that as a kid, I thought were like these super future systems. And so I collect the stories of those people who are building those technologies now. So I get them on the show. We talk about everything from esports and gaming to crazy technologies they're building in fashion to I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody who is doing some cool AI stuff that is helping protect power poles, which doesn't sound interesting, but actually involves drones. and heat-sensitive cameras, and was way more fun from a non-technical perspective than I ever imagined. So it's called Build Amazing Things Securely. So if you want to understand where the future of software is going and where security might fit, feel free to like and subscribe and all those wonderful things. And if you can suggest a guest, please get in touch, because we're always looking for news stories to share of exciting technology that's being built.
Perfect. Now, Laura, hopefully this is the beginning of a long relationship. Hopefully we can have you come back and talk about us more and more stuff. I know this may not be the ideal time, but I think you said it's in the middle of your day now. Is that right?
It is. It's almost 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay, so see, that's not that bad. It's just that's what happens when you go everything taken care of. So.
She's 2 hours behind us tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's right. Okay, that's right. All right. Well, so it's a pleasure to have you on the show again. Find and like you. Again, if you just go and take a look, we'll share out that information on our show links. You can also tag her or she'll be tagged in this week's episode information, and you can find her on LinkedIn too. Laura, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me, and happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, what a pleasure, Laura, to have on the show. That ends our segment, Technology Insider. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we will be doing so during the break. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio. Yeah. You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, in the Wayback Machine, we're going all the way to December 22nd, 1882, the first electric Christmas tree lights. Edward Johnson, an associate of Thomas Edison, has walnut-sized bulbs made specifically for him to wire his Christmas tree with electric lights. Before this, people would use a tradition of decorating their trees with wax candles. Unfortunately, the combination of tall candles, flimsy tin, and drooping branches lacked the stability. Leaning into candles often dripped wax onto ornaments or the floor and would have many fires during this time. Well, that kind of makes sense.
I don't think the light bulb really helped out, because we still have fire.
We still have fires. But can you actually think of having a live candle on your tree?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, back in the day, you had candles all over the place.
Well, Edward Johnson decided to get 80.
Put it on your cake.
Red, white, and blue bulbs. He was patriotic, I guess. And he formed the first set of electric Christmas tree lights in history. And within a few years, became the standard for holiday trees. All right, that was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to see some TechTime history?
Thanks, Edward Johnson, for all the money I pay to light up my Christmas tree.
Well, actually, nowadays, aren't they pre-built? My newest Christmas tree has LED lights.
You know, I don't even know anymore. I've stopped decorating forever. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to figure. That's maybe.
And I think it's wrong that Mark took a sweater off and I'm still in mine.
You can have a protest? Is that what you're gonna say?
I'm protesting.
Okay,
Mark.
all right. Well, that was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some TechTime history? With 180 weekly broadcasts spanning 30 plus years of video, podcast, blog information, and more, you can visit TechTime Radio to watch our older shows or join the TechTimer Facebook groups. We're going to head out to a commercial break. When we return, we have Mark's Mumble Whiskey Reveal and our Technology Fail of the Week. I can't wait to hear about our Technology Fail of the Week in Comcast. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our medium roast founder series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Well, Mike was complaining because I took off my Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
But there was a reason for it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's find out. Oh, yeah, he was getting all over
I'm
it.
still in costume.
Okay, why is that?
Well, what's today?
Today would be the 19th of December.
National Take Off Your Sweater During the Radio Show Day?
No. It's National Emo Day.
Woo! Emo Day.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So Odie knows about this. For many people, the word emo describes a sad teenager who dresses in a very deliberate way. But the emo subculture has a long and storied history that reaches back to the 1980s and continues to resonate today. On National Emo Day, we recognize the rich complexities of the emo movement and gain a greater appreciation for its place in popular music. So let's all go put on some Rites of Spring, right?
I would know.
What's Rites of Spring?
Is that
one of the classic bands
okay.
for emo?
Okay.
So emo bands?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still in the Guns N' Roses and 80s bands, but okay, all right.
They were from the 80s also.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of them. Okay.
Well, let's move on then.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Before we move on,
yes,
I
Odie.
just want to say that let's honor Mike for always being an emo every single day, just not complying with the image of it.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
bah
Okay.
humbug 24/7.
That's not emo. That's just being a Scrooge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, don't degrade emos there.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
There's a rich
Wow,
subculture
are you
there.
seriously?
Wow,
Really?
wow,
Wow,
wow.
boy,
Okay,
everybody's ganging up on Mike today.
Oh,
what the hell?
Okay, continuing on. Okay, tell us about
Well,
the
since
whiskey.
we're talking about emos, one of their main symbols that they use is a rose in many pictures. So today we're talking about Four Roses Bourbon.
Okay.
So the story starts with the distillery's founder, Paul Jones Jr., and his love interest.
Oh.
In a rather enchanting tale, he sent a heartfelt proposal to her. So instead of just giving him a simple yes, she made it a little bit more complex, and she said if she agreed to the proposal, that she would wear a corsage to the coming up grand ball. So
Wow, that's so much complication in that. I would have been bi at that time. But okay, keep on telling me more. That sounds very good. Okay.
That really confused you, didn't
It did. Why? So she likes this guy.
Oh
This
my
guy
God,
proposes
she's
to her.
proving that she likes him.
Oh, okay. So tell me more.
Anyway,
it's a little
forget
suspense.
All right. Okay, suspense. Okay.
Yeah.
she showed
So
up-
she shows up at the bar.
without a corsage.
At the
So
ball.
at the bar. Okay.
No, at the ball. And of course, she was wearing a beautiful corsage of 4 red roses.
Oh.
Now,
It's
you
very
would think
romantic.
it is. And that inspired the name of this famous bourbon and gives it a story that would be the envy of many of its rivals. Unfortunate, though, it has like a Mike twist to it.
Uh-oh, what's that? she dies like a month later?
Well, we have a sad twist of fate that the proposal never resulted in marriage.
Oh.
Paul Jones Jr. passed away suddenly from Bright's disease in 1896.
Mm-hmm.
What a bummer.
Mm-hmm. He probably
See, life sucks. Then you die.
Wow. Okay.
So let's talk about the bourbon. So unlike
Yeah.
regular Four Roses single barrel, which only has one formula, the barrel strength version, which we're drinking, actually has 10 different variations of it, between 2 different mash bills and 5 different yeasts. Now, it's fun to try and collect all 10 and actually compare how they slightly differ. Now, regardless of the difference, I do enjoy all the versions very much and would highly recommend going out and finding a bottle of this whiskey. Now, don't worry about the specific formula if you're not a whiskey nerd. No problem. Just grab one. They're all pretty good. Save that for later as you gain more experience.
All right. Okay. Did you get all that?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Let's
let's.
move on.
You know what? Whiskey and technology. What a great pairing. Just like the pairing of ugly sweaters and gift exchanges.
You should have said emo and Mike.
Oh, there you
what
go.
the heck?
Let's get ready for our technology fail of the week.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, this week's technology fail comes to us from Mike Gourdet and Comcast. Mike, it seems you've had some issues, And man, you were livid about this yesterday in the production meeting. So please explain to the listeners your customer support service from the company called Comcast.
You mean the company that starts with an X and ends with Finity?
Okay, or Xfinity. Okay, yeah.
Oh, man. You know how it is. I don't know if you know how. You know how it is to call them, right?
No.
Have you tried calling them? Yes, you have.
I've called them sometimes.
Yeah, and it takes you how long to get through there?
Well, so I always call them after hours, so I immediately go over to the India support crew immediately. So I don't call them during work hours.
I hate trying to call them.
Okay.
I hate it.
Okay.
Because of
1-800 Comcast.
Because of their auto phone. I hate auto select.
When you were doing stuff though, don't you hear the fake typing in the background?
That drives me. Yeah, the fake typing really bothers me. Right.
Okay.
So if I have to do anything, I like to go to the Xfinity store. Now those guys are great.
Okay.
Right. So I recently changed my address.
Yep.
Which means I have to go get my cable switched over.
Okay.
So I
went to the Xfinity store.
Well, I put my modem in.
Okay.
Right? So I had a modem that I got replaced from the fire.
Yeah.
I put it in, and then I went to the Xfinity store to have my address changed.
Okay.
No problem. At the store,
yeah,
I made sure I got my little Peacock box.
Okay.
I made sure that the service was correct.
Okay.
And I requested a technician because I have a wall outlet that needs to be repaired.
So your wall outlet does not work.
The wall outlet is like this really old thing where it's got the coaxial cable like just comes out of the wall.
Okay, so
I want them to put a standard
box in there.
Yeah, standard outlet.
Okay.
Right. So I requested a
service
technician.
call. Yep.
Yep. No problem. So as soon as I get my service switched over, I start heading back to my apartment to activate my modem.
Yep.
And I get a call from Xfinity customer support, advanced technical support.
Okay. All right.
Which I'm like, hi, why are you calling? And they said, well, we had to escalate this.
Okay.
And we see that your modem is hooked up, but it's not activated yet. Well, we can do that for you. I'm like, okay, why are you calling?
Okay.
Because that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
At any rate,
keep on going. This will be just part of Mike's mesmerizing moment.
Yeah,
we're good. Okay.
Yeah. So this woman is like not listening to me at all. I'm telling her. She said, you requested a technician. We're going to fix that for you right now. And I'm telling her, no, I requested a technician to fix an outlet.
Yep.
But she's refusing to listen to this. She's trying to get me to activate my modem. And I'm like, okay, if you want to activate my modem, go right ahead. I'm driving back to my apartment.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, just tell me if the modem is blinking. I'm driving. I just told you I'm driving. Oh, well, we'll wait till you get home.
Okay.
So I get home and I go through this, and I've told her 3 times already that I need a technician to come and fix a wall outlet.
Okay.
But she's insisting on this whole
And
activation.
is it from the United States support line, or
No,
do you think it's overseas?
It's overseas.
Okay. All right.
And so I go through this whole rigmarole of activating my
modem,
and
it probably worked.
I didn't
it probably worked because the cable, even though
I didn't need
wonky,
help.
it still works.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't need. There are 2 outlets. One outlet is working, and the other outlet's not.
Okay.
I know how to activate the thing.
Okay.
But we go through this thing. She activates my modem, and at the very end, she says, "Okay, now we can cancel that technician
coming on out." Right?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, that is not why I asked for the technician. So I'm yelling at this woman at this point because she has refused to hear me 4 different times now that the technician is for a completely separate issue than me activating my Wi-Fi. So
did she try to get you a free Peacock services?
Absolutely not. She's like she's like trying to. She's like, oh well, your Wi-Fi is active now, so thank you for calling Xfinity. Like I didn't call. when I call, I'm already mad by the time I get to you. So,
so you had a real pleasant experience.
So yeah, they called me.
They called you.
They called me. And then they did it again today.
They did it today.
For the same thing.
Before we started the show.
Before we started the show.
And you were pretty much lit up like a red light bulb.
I'm like, I can't get through these people when I need something, but they'll call me twice to try and get rid of a technician.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, that also serves as our mesmerizing moment. Now we're going to move to
that's not a mesmerizing moment. That's me complaining about
All right,
stuff.
we're going to move to our pick of the day, whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
Really? We don't have time for the Nathan Nugget and the
we
geese?
ran out of time.
Again, you cut
30 seconds.
Those geese are just going to have to wait.
Yeah, we'll
you
get
cut
to
my
it next
story
week.
again. All right.
Well, tell me about the pick of the day.
4 Roses, single barrel, barrel strength, formula OBSK.
All right, I'm going to give it absolutely a thumbs up. Perfect tasting. Fantastic. What are you going to give it, Mike?
I give it a thumbs up.
Okay, thumbs up. All right, is it on your shelf, Mark?
Well, as soon as I take my bottle back from you, yes.
All right, there you go. Perfect.
I collect all 10 recipes, so yeah.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for listening. Remember, the technology of tomorrow starts with the
Thanks
technology
for
of
joining
today.
us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.